Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on demos that impress me. You are joining me at the perfect time as we look at Astro Prospector. Now this is a strange one that I first have to highlight the soundtrack because I can still hear the in my head and it's kind of beautiful. Second of all, the story is ridiculously perfect. That doesn't take itself too seriously and just lets you know you're here to have fun and play the game. The gameplay is a little different. At first, you're going to see me run in here and suck, because I sucked, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But you go home, you dust yourself off, and you get back to it, because you launch again, and you are right back in the saddle. You use WASD or the mouse to move, and you hover around these rocks. You then automatically, without needing to do anything, fire a laser at these rocks. If you can destroy a rock, you get a resource. We'll talk about the resources in a second, but you probably just saw on the screen how the game went black. It's like a cone of vision. You start to squint, and when things go black, you get sent back to your upgrade room. You upgrade based on the amount of resources you get, and then you go back into the next day. It is a pretty simple, standard roguelike that does one thing very, very, very effectively, and that is being new and being innovative in the actual gameplay. And I don't necessarily mean this is going to break the wheel, but this is something I have not seen done well before. There are a couple of games like this, and I'm sure you're thinking of one or two, but normally they fall short in a couple of different meters. This one delivers in content, this one delivers in satisfaction, and everything is so smooth. That's how I would describe this game. Everything is just crisp. You just want to vibe with this. You just want to be in the environment. And I know I sound like a, how do you do, fellow kids? But no, genuinely. I think the highlight of this game is its progression system. You can do wacky stuff. You can do a lot of fun things. And it does not seem to get dull quick. There's a lot of variety. This game knows how to get its hooks into you. It delivers on the quintessential addictive roguelike nature. You want to just keep playing and do another and do another and do another. The bite-sized breadcrumbs that this lays out are perfect. If I had to choose pacing from any game, it might be this. This is just a prologue, but it left me wanting more and more and more. And when the full game releases, I will be a day one player, subscriber, customer. It's not a subscription game, it's Now there are probably some people saying, come on, get to some action. We don't want to see rocks in space blowing up. We want to see head explosions, dang it. Well, look no further than Neon Inferno. I think this is going to be the next big 2D action game that blows up. There is something special about this one. It is nothing unique, but the style is crisp. It kind of reminds me of Far Cry Blood Dragon, and it kind of takes all the different elements. One extreme positive for this game is the different things that it has going for it. I was kind of used to all the mechanics that 2D cover shooters have, and this is very different than all of those. This is something unique because it is blending parry mechanics. Those green orbs that you see on screen, you can actually parry those and send them back. Number two, there is a lot of different things, like you can shoot into the background of the game. You can also do the dives and glides, parry. There is a lot of different systems working together. You also have different characters that I can't tell too much of a difference apart, but I'm going to assume at some point there is a lot more variety. The melee is clean and crisp in this game. All of the shooting feels snappy and clean. All of the shooting feels snappy and responsive. There is not a pixel misplaced. Everything is beautiful on this game. I also quite like the level design, the different interactions that the player has to go through. My one and only complaint with this game, if you do not have a gamepad, if you are rocking with just keyboard and mouse, or really just keyboard, you may have a hard time. This was very clearly designed for console. This was very clearly designed for gamepad use, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but just buyer beware. If you are like me and with it rocking a keyboard only, something to be aware of. This is, in some weird way, I was kind of like, okay, this is like training, this is on hard mode, because it is very clearly not meant for The story is pretty what you would expect. I don't think it's going to blow anybody out of the water, but I also don't want to immediately write it off. I think there could be a great narrative delivered here, so I want to go ahead and give it the benefit of the doubt. With that being said, I actually liked what we got so far, even though it is just a prologue. I was actually kind of impressed. Same with the boss fights. I was very, very impressed with not only the detail in the boss fights, but all the different mechanics that they delivered just in one simple thing. Number two, the prologue has great depth to it. There is a lot of different mechanics that you can find and explore, and some of the game don't even tell you about, which I found really interesting. There is a lot of depth in this game. There is a lot of different things happening in terms of new things that spice up the variety and give you new toys to play with. And just when you thought you finished a level, you go into a motorcycle section and do something crazy. Positives of this game: great variety, great depth mechanics, absolute supreme art style. The fluid fast pace is highly addictive. Con: the gamepad is clearly what it is designed for. If you do not have a gamepad, if you have not spent $50 on a gamepad because you gotta eat food, you might have a bad time. Or if you're like me and the only one you have is really shitty. I did want to highlight Roland Rascal here. I am sure everybody and their mother has seen this from YouTubers in different 3D platformer videos, and that is actually where I first found it too. But one thing I do not see a lot of people talking about is the different level of customization that you can put your Rascal through. That is actually my favorite part, is just going through and finding the different outfits and the different colors. It reminds me of Fall Guys, but without the weird monetization of Fall Guys. Now, the gameplay is also like crack in a good way. It is all of the good elements of Sonic mixed with some of the elements of Mario, and you smush it into this weird vibrant package where everything you do has this bouncy, flavorful texture, and you've kind of reached paradise. You snap on to different things. You jump and you fly, and there's weight and there's gravity, but at the same time you're floaty, but at the same time you can do a dodge that makes you quick and snappy again. The player is in complete control of every moving part, and I love that. To me, this is the ideal 3D platformer. One can only hope that the release date is soon, and that this level of polish is continued in the whole game, because if this delivers on what its potential is, this is going to be an all-timer right here. No questions asked. So, Decks of the Damned. I struggle putting this game in a box. I don't know what the proper term is for this new type of game cropping up, but it is a new type of card deck combination where you put the different cards together and they form something or something happens. I don't particularly enjoy this genre, so let me be clear, I am biased, but I'm also biased because I really want to enjoy this type of genre. I keep clicking on games like this thinking I would enjoy them, and then I don't. So I go into it wanting to enjoy it, and what's funny about this particular game, Decks of the Damned, is when I am not playing it, I actually kind of enjoy it. Even as I'm watching this footage back right now, as I'm talking over this, I'm kind of like, hey, wait a second, maybe I did enjoy this game. But then I go play it, and I just don't enjoy it. The loop isn't fun. It feels almost directionless. It feels almost like you're not building towards something, which is kind of sad because the actual prologue in the beginning of the game is very strong at setting a world in just words. In my opinion, one of the strengths of video game is using the visual medium and communicating without words, and yet they have established a great world in which they thrust the player, and then the gameplay kind of leaves the player aimless and directionless. And this is where I can't help but look at the actual formula of the game. I almost wonder if these types of games should be left to like creature collectathons, or, well, and I say that, and I'm even doubting myself here live on the air. Call in 591 rock, 591 roll. But maybe that was the idea, because you are kind of supposed to be building this immortal vampire army that is over time. So maybe the idea is this is a creature collectathon, but I think this is a biased one. I don't think this is a bad game. I still want to put this in the video, because if you look at this and you go, oh, I will enjoy this, you will enjoy this. There's nothing bad about this. I want to be clear. The optimization is good. The gameplay is good. The cards are great. The textures are great. All of the different things are good. If you've ever heard the classic, "It's not you, babe, it's me," well, I think in this case it's actually true, because this is definitely going to appeal to one specific type of person. Unfortunately, I am not the audience, and I am hoping to deliver it to the correct audience. Man, talk about a game that sounds great on paper, but there's just something missing. What is it? What is it? For some reason, I can't put my finger on it. There is something not right here. This is Athanasia. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I am a stupid boy from Kansas who just plays video games. Ignore me. This is an homage to System Shock. This also takes elements from games like Prey, of course, but Prey was an homage to System Shock. The point is, these are one of those classic games where there are a lot of different routes to get where you need to. There's an inventory system that is dynamic and complex. There's a lot of different things that you can pick up on the ground. There are a lot of different systems and skills implemented. The crafting system is so deep and so complex and so many different variety. The detail is actually very, very supreme. But I'm missing something here. And I don't know what. Forgive me for being blunt, and forgive me for backseat gaming, but I think this game needs objective markers. I think text blocks that are in the same exact color as everything else that is just kind of mind-numbing. It just makes the player almost reject it in a way. I think it needs to be clearer communicated what is happening, what we are doing, what our goals are, what the objectives are, how we are completing these things. And then the gameplay can shine. Because right now, it kind of just feels like once again, I'm even watching this gameplay back and I'm seeing, oh yeah, there's different ways to progress through the levels. But I'm like, what am I doing here? Like, I know the opening text scroll gave me an objective, but do you feel any weight in this? Do you feel any impact in this? There is something interesting about being dropped in a lost world. There is something very dynamic about just being like, let's see the world that we're in, but you have to present it correctly. And when the player truly has no idea what the imaginable threat is, it can be very drowning when they're like, oh hey, here's 95 different versions of how to craft Molotov cocktails, and there's 10 different ways to get to this door, and progress can be hard to make. Because there is a lot of times where in video games, progress is hard to make, but the juice is worth the squeeze. In this game, it just feels like more mind-numbing things behind a ridiculously confusing way to progress in the game. And this is where I almost want to preempt my own argument and say, am I just stupid? Yeah, I think that's a real possibility, but I also think it's a real possibility that you gotta make games for stupid people like idiots like myself at this point. Because it's not like the old days where, and I'm not even saying, well, they don't make video games like they used to. I'm actually kind of saying the opposite. I'm saying there are so many 9 and 10 video games that drop on the fucking daily that the 7 out of 10s, that the 6 out of 10s, that the one that make you grind your teeth don't get played because there is so many other good options. And so if you want me to commit my time and my energy to this, I kind of need something to grab my teeth on, and I really struggle to find something to enjoy in this game. And I am sorry if the developer watches this. I will give your game a second chance. You got this, I believe. Thank you everybody for joining me. You guys the best. I hope everybody has a nice day. See ya.